Welcome, welcome, welcome. Exciting. We're planning for life after high school. Some of you probably never thought this day would come, but we are here. My name is Brian Linhart. I'm one of the counselors here at BG. And I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Genovese, our post-secondary counselor. He's been working hard on making a playlist on YouTube of videos that are going to help you plan for life after BG, whether it's a four-year school, whether it's the military, whether it's a trade school, whether it's uh, going right into the workforce, whatever it may be. There's definitely going to be some stuff here that's important for each of you. He made a link. The link is right here for the playlist. You go there, you'll see a list of all the videos that have been made to help you planning for life after Buffalo Grove High School. The other thing is that throughout this video, you will see cards pop up like the one right there. These cards will take you to links of other videos that are in the playlist or other playlists that we've made that are kind of expanding upon that topic. For example, when Mr. Genovese talks about teacher letters of rec, you'll see that card pop up and it'll say teacher letter of rec playlist. And you'll see the playlist we made of some teachers we've talked to here at BG to give you some tips and tricks and things to do when asking for a letter of rec. So, got a lot of resources. Again, this website down here will take you to the playlist, or the cards that are popping up will help you expand upon each topic. If you have any questions, please see Mr. Genovese or come and see your counselor. Have a good day and fight on.
Hi, everybody. It's Paul Genovese, Post-Secondary Counselor at Buffalo Grove High School. Thank you for joining this video. Today, we're going to be talking about senior year and all the things that you need to be successful as you navigate the post-high school planning process. So this video is about 10 to 12 minutes long. Attached to this video are topic-specific videos, such as how to write an essay, learning a little bit more about federal financial aid, scholarships, how to ask a teacher for a letter of recommendation, so on. These videos are short 2 to 4 minute videos. So please watch this video in its entirety, and then please we encourage you to look at all the rest of the videos on topic-specific information. This video is going to give you an overview of senior year, what you need to know, some terminology, and just generally how to be successful and some tips and tricks to survive, to do well during your senior year when it comes to life after high school. But first, before we begin, I just want to say the word college. When you think of the word college, that word could mean a four-year college or university where you earn a bachelor's degree. It could also mean an associate's degree from a community college. It could also mean a certificate from a trade school or tech school. So whatever you're thinking, whatever your plan, whatever your vision is for life after high school, all the information you're going to learn in these following videos will be applicable to any kind of school that we're going to term college from here on out through the videos. So with that, let's begin. Okay, so here is a timetable for senior year. Breaks it down by each month. So traditionally, late August, September, October, and up to mid-November is a time to fill out your college applications, regardless if it's Harper Community College, four-year universities, trade schools, or tech schools. This is a time we want to do it. A real good tip, if you can get, or a goal, if you can get all your applications in by early November, and if not sooner, that puts you ahead of the game. So this is what we're going to shoot for to get your applications in during the months of September, October, and November. Parents or guardians for FAFSA. FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, federal financial aid money. That application opens up October 1st. So the same concept, the sooner you apply, it doesn't guarantee you money, but the better your chances are of receiving money with less people applying. So please plan accordingly and try to fill out the FAFSA for government money, which we'll talk a little bit more in detail, as close to October 1st as you can. The next arrow is scholarships. Scholarships range, very broad range, but from November all the way through April is scholarship season. More specifically, the vast majority of scholarships become available mid-December to early January. So January, February, March is the peak time for scholarships, whether it be local community scholarships, whether it be school-specific scholarships, or a scholarship from an organization or a club or an employer. But the general rule of thumb is get your college applications done during September, October, November. Fill out the FAFSA close to October, and then turn your attention to scholarships. The next arrow, admission decisions. Depending on when a student applies to college, and we're going to assume it's during September, October, November, in general, students will find out of your decision usually during December through April. It's a broad range. Sometimes if a college has a November 1 or November 15th deadline, you may find out a little bit later. But in general, this is the time frame that you will learn if you've been admitted, denied, or waitlisted. And all those terms we'll talk about in a little bit as well. The last arrow is award letters. That's a financial award letter. So this is the time usually January through April. If you're eligible for any scholarship or any financial aid, colleges will give you an award letter letting you know what your status or how much money, if any, you've received from that college. And then finally, that big red bar in May is decision. If a student's applied to 5 schools, they have to pick one of those 5 schools. So May 1st is a universal reply date, which means if a student's applied to 5 schools, by May 1, they have to let that one college know that they're going to be matriculating to that school. So that's the timetable. That's the overview of senior year or the calendar year for seniors. The next slide is the college application. Before we even start diving into all these terms and stuff like that, filling out college applications, there's basically there's 2 different kinds of apps. There's an institutional app, so a school has a school-specific application. So if you're applying to Northern Illinois, the only way to apply to Northern is through Northern Illinois' in-house application. There is another type of application which is called the Common App. And then its partner or rival is the coalition application. These are applications where you fill out one application for a variety of schools. So just for example, the Common Application has over 800 colleges nationwide that subscribe to the Common App. So when you're putting your list of schools together, it's important to know, or you may want to learn, what schools are a Common App school. It's clearly an advantage. So if you're applying to 7 schools and 5 of those schools are Common App, it's in your best interest to fill out the Common App, which is one application, and that can be farmed out to those 5 schools. So it's an absolute time saver. So you just want to make sure the type of application the college has. So developing that strategy. Again, even before we diving into each one of these topics, for all colleges, no matter if it's Harper Community College to Harvard University, all of them ask for your name, your address, demographic information, the school you went to, clubs, activities, awards, athletics, and so on. So that's the commonality between all applications. Most colleges will ask for official Buffalo Grove academic transcripts. The instances where a college does not need a transcript is when the college is they self-report. So that means, for example, University of Illinois, our flagship state university, is self-reported grades. So the U of I is not wanting your official transcript. Rather, they're going to ask the student in the application to fill out and list all the courses you have taken and the grades that you received. So it's called a self-reported grade. But for the most part, most colleges will ask for academic transcript. Many colleges will ask for an essay or personal statement or both. Many colleges will also ask for a teacher or a counselor letter of recommendation, which we'll talk about later. And some colleges may ask for an interview, which is gaining in popularity over the last few years. So all will require demographic information. Most will require a transcript, and some will require essays, recommendations, and possibly an interview. You can all read this later at a later date. Finally, I'd like to talk about standardized testing. There's a movement where more and more colleges are going test optional, or they call it flexible testing, as long as a student has a minimum GPA. And that list is continuing to grow. Some schools are still wanting a standardized test. And just so you know, as far as the state of Illinois, we are going to do the state SAT this October. So regardless of they needing a test or not, you will be able to take a test, the SAT, October 14th. For more details about the application process, please watch the following video on application fast facts. That will give you some more information on how to manage the application process. Next, we're going to talk about um, college lists. So before we start getting into the detail here, general rule of thumb. There's no right, there's no wrong, but a general rule of thumb for students applying to college, in general, 5 to 7 schools is a nice number of schools to apply to. So it is your choice. You can, students, families, you can apply to 1 school, 5 schools, 10 schools, 20 schools. It's completely up to you, but it tells me that a family's done their homework if they've narrowed it down to 5 to 7 schools. It makes it manageable. When students are applying to double-digit schools, it's a lot. It's your choice, and that's your prerogative. But it takes a little bit more time. 5 to 7 schools is manageable. And furthermore, if you apply to 7 schools and get accepted to 5 of those 7, down the road during second semester, you have to make a decision, one of 5, rather than a student who applied to 20 schools and got into 15 of the 20. They're still, usually that student is still fairly stressed second semester when they're trying to make a decision between 15 schools that accepted them. So just keep that in mind. That's just a guide. Also, as a guide, you may want to think about the type of schools that you're applying to. So students, you know your GPA, you know the kind of school that you're thinking of gravitating to, you know the type of student that you are. So when you're coming up with your list of schools, or this list of schools that you've already come up with, 3 imaginary categories should be probable schools, target schools, and reach schools. So if you were to apply on time, and during September, October, November, you're thinking you probably will get in because you exceed the GPA requirement and your credentials are higher than what is posted. So that's a probable. Okay, a target school. What they're looking for is what you have. So it's a target-based school. Like you have a good chance of getting in because you're the average profile student. What they're looking for. A reach school might be a school where um, the academic credentials exceed or a little bit higher than what you have, but you've always wanted to go to this particular school. Absolutely apply. I would never say never, but just have a smart plan. So within those 5 to 7 schools, or however many schools you apply to, you should have a couple probable schools, a couple target schools, and a couple reach schools, both academically and then also financially. So a financial backup, a financial target, and a financial reach. So just keep that in mind. So basically, the formula for success is kind of what are you looking for in a school? And you can see in the gray area on the bottom, the college preferences to keep in mind. These are some general characteristics for students and families to consider when researching a school and looking for a good fit. And then also, what are colleges looking for? Clearly, they're looking for grades. They're looking for academics. They're looking for the rigor of coursework you took in high school. But they're also looking at that essay. They're also looking at the recommendations. They're also looking at the activities and involvements that you've been involved with during high school. Also, they want to they would like to see some demonstrated interest or demonstrated understanding of their university. They want students who know what school X is all about or the nuances of that school. Being able to express that that helps a little bit during the application process as well. 2 final tips before we move on. Students, please remember first semester grades of senior year absolutely count. So do the best, do the best you possibly can, because it's not commonplace, but it's not uncommon where a school would ask for your first semester grades before they make a decision on you. So please buckle down and do the best you can throughout senior year. And then finally, deadlines. For soon, we're going to go in detail about the types of deadlines, but deadlines are firm. So if there's a November 1 deadline or November 15th deadline, it's a firm deadline date. Unlike school, where maybe you were sick or weren't able to be in the class the day a paper or test was due, teacher certainly will give you the next day or a couple of days. That won't happen with the application process. So come November 1, if that's the deadline date, it's a firm deadline date. So please adhere to deadlines. And you can absolutely get these applications in before the deadline, well before the deadline date, which would be suggested. Financial aid. If we could divide, and it's on the second column here, if we could take, to put a line in the sand, there's need-based aid and there's merit-based aid. So this lists, under financial aid, lists the types of scholarships. This is merit-based aid. It's based on an ability, a talent, athletic, grades, anything merit-based. We're going to talk a little bit more about this in the next couple of videos that are attached to this. But just know scholarship season, like we said on that overview, kind of gets rolling late December, early January. And then federal financial aid, the FAFSA, which the application begins October 1st, that is need-based aid. So FAFSA does not take into account your ACT, your SAT, your GPA, your activities, your volunteerism, your courses that you've taken. It is strictly a formula based on assets and income of the family. So how much money is coming into the household and how much the household has in savings, which is it's a black and white calculation on how much need a family has for college. And finally, BG Bison. This is it for life after high school. This is what being a BG Bison stands for. Be confident. Students, you're in charge. This is not a hard process. You can do this. There's a lot of people that are able to help you out, but be confident. Get a plan. Start now. Talk tonight after this. Hopefully you've been watching this video with your parents or guardian, and sit down and get a plan that fits you and your family the best. Be on time with deadlines. We just addressed that. Please make sure you adhere to all deadlines. They don't extend deadlines. Colleges do not extend deadlines. Have an I can do attitude. You can do this. It's achievable. It's manageable. We can do this together. If you need help, please reach out to me. But be positive. Start early. Like we said, it's encouraged to start as soon as you can after the beginning of the school year. So late August, September, October would be great. Stay organized. Half the battle is staying organized. If you stay organized, this process can be seamless and will be a much more positive experience as compared to being very disorganized, and it's very stressful, and things don't usually end up well when students disorganize. And finally, it's not a one-person decision. So students, talk with your parents, talk with your guardian, whomever you live with, and make sure you're on the same page. So students, if you change your mind midway about a major or a type of school, please share that with your folks or share that with your guardian. And on the flip side, parents, please share what you're thinking about for your child. Consider finances, talk about, I know it's uncomfortable, but talk about finances and the cost of school and the distance you're looking from home, so on and so forth. So with that being said, I thank you for listening, and please stay tuned for the following videos that are topic specific and are going to be between 2 to 4 minutes. Seniors, good luck and see you in the fall.